Yemi Kerry, the board chair, Lagos Angel Van. The one that needs no introduction, Yemi Kerry, the board chair, Lagos Angel Investor Network. Please, a round of applause. But please, we need her. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. Thank you. Please, a round of applause for her. There's the introduction. What's the media? Thank you so much.
Thank you. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. So I will see myself. Two things distracted me today when I was coming here. First is this thing that I'm wearing. It makes noise. You know what? The cows. It makes noise when you're walking around. And I just can't. It distracts me. Good morning. And I'm really happy to be here. It's a real privilege for me to be discussing this because this is one of the issues that is closest to my heart. Accessing funding opportunities for sustainable business growth. We do take time out to discuss this. I facilitate at the Lagos Business School, the EDC particularly for SMEs. So if you haven't been there as an SME, I think you should go in there and see what classes you can take that would augment your business. I wrote the speech, but I think I'm going to converse more so that we can benefit really from all that we have said. My keynote has been summarized by the gentleman. Sorry, I don't know your name. Obafemi. A lot of the contents that I have here has been summarized by him. As entrepreneurs and founders, you know all too well that running a business in Nigeria requires grit, innovation, and an almost relentless sense of hope. If it's not NEPA, it's the taxman. If it's not the taxman, it's your accountant. Is your salesperson? Is your machine not working? Something. And while you're just cruising, they just bring out something else that destabilizes you. And so for you as an SME or a business owner, you need to understand that the journey is lonely and it is long, and that you will continue to surmount issues that will come your way. Little did you know 5 years ago or 3 years ago that the foreign exchange market will destabilize you. A lot of SMEs have shut down based on that. One of the things that is important to know is if you're leading a business in this country, you must be ready to be resilient. And like they always say, these two shall pass away. Slide 1. My slide 1, I tried to put on the funding landscape, or that as I understand it and as I've seen things. Nigeria's SMEs, MSMEs, they remain the backbone of our economy. And if you look at the SMEDAN report of 2020, I don't know if there's a follow-on one, Nigeria has 39.65 million MSMEs, making it 96.9% micro enterprises, that is those that are under 10 employees. They contribute 46.31% to the GTB, and therefore they employ well over 50 million people. That's roughly about 84% of Nigeria's workforce. Therefore, this is a critical pool of businesses that is holding our economy grounded. Yet, despite the size and the significance, only 11% of MSMEs have accessed any form of credit from banks and government agencies. If we look globally, the IFC, they estimate that Nigeria's MSMEs financing gap is about $158 billion. That is part of a global gap of 5.2 trillion annually for developing economies. There is a major lacuna in terms of financing the SMEs. Meanwhile, over 70% of Nigerian SMEs fail within the first 5 years, and more so within the last 2 years because of those that relied in the foreign exchange. But things are changing. We are witnessing an evolution in the funding ecosystem. For traditional bank loans to newer, more flexible and inclusive models, the landscape is opening up. So let's look at a few of this. Next slide. Revenue-based financing. So instead of the fixed loan repayments, businesses repay investors using a percentage of monthly revenue. So I give you 10,000 naira as a facility for your growth of your business. And as you make money, you give me a certain percentage back. So you repay back with ease. And therefore, it is more amenable to your business, no stress. And this flexible model is gaining traction through platforms, PayHippo, and Lendha, Lendha. So these are the types of, I'm just going to be giving you examples of where you can go and leverage these funding models. Invoice discounting and supply chain financing. Trade lender, Lenda, trade lender, allows businesses to unlock working capital by turning unpaid invoices into cash. They are not the only ones. There are others. So if you look for their competitors online, you'll be able to get others that can do that. This is useful for suppliers dealing with large retails from the FMGCs. Crowdfunding and peer-to-peer lending platforms, Niger Fund, Farm Crowdy Agric focused. Thrive Agric is also allows SMEs to raise funds directly from the public. Now the SEC is issuing out licenses if you want to do crowdfunding, and then it allows you to pool money from individuals and the public to be able to finance your business. Green and ESG investing. Now, if you're following the trends or global trends and the trends of things that are happening, you would know that the ESG, that is environmental, social, and governance, is becoming more and more important for organizations who want to fund. And so there are organizations like Olon that focuses on renewable energy that would advance you some funding for your business. So, and then they look at the kind of impact, there's a lot of companies that are now doing clean energy and recycling and climate agriculture. Angel investing and venture capital. Angel investing, Iron Rising Tide Africa, we have a bias, we're doing gender lens. Therefore, we invest in female-owned, female-led, and gender-diverse teams and management. Or if you have a product or service that is has a gender lens, would finance you. And what the angels do is that they meet you, they invest in you at the very early stage. I think Solomon will talk about this during the panel. At the very early stage of your business, where your friends, family, and fools have already invested. So we take a risky portion of your life cycle, phase of your business, and we invest in you, taking a hedge that your business will do well. And if it sinks, our money goes. But then after you have been able to grow your business to a certain extent, the venture capitalists will give you a larger chunk of money, and then they will invest, larger amounts of money. So if you're talking about the value chain for angel investing, if Rising Tide Africa invests in you, our own exit will be looking at Arua Capital to give you that large chunk of money, so that when they invest, we go out of it. Now, this one is particularly very interesting because it's the first non-entrance bank. It's called the Alternative Bank, a subsidiary of Sterling Bank. They offer ethical and Sharia-compliant financing options. The model focuses on partnership-based lending, where the bank shares in the risk and the profit of your business. This is especially appealing to entrepreneurs who prefer flexible and non-collateral based asset-backed financing. So all of these models are beginning to come in, and it's important that you keep your ears to the ground, because I find out that a lot of, when you say access to finance, it is not that these opportunities are not there. It is not that the LSITFs do not give you money. It is because you are not aware really of what is going on in the environment. But having said that, we still have a lot of SMEs that struggle. They struggle for access to capital. And I've tried to itemize the 6 major hurdles that lack of collateral and credit history. As angels, we invest, we take a chance on you, right? I'm investing as an individual from my own pocket, and I know I'm taking that risk. However, the institutions that are going to invest in you have other people's money, and so because of that, they're going to be looking at how can I de-risk this investment that I'm going to take. And that is why a lot of them ask for collateral. How can I guarantee that this money I'm giving out is going to come back? Because it's really other people's money. But a lot of MSMEs do not have the kind of collaterals that the organizations ask for. And so that really is a struggle. A friend of mine went to BOI and wanted to get a loan from them. And at the end of the conversation for her, it was, maybe I should I still sell the land and get the money, because they're not going to take my land. They want building on it or something that has more assets. So if I sell the land, I will have the money, and then I can do that. So the kind of collaterals that are being sought is not that friendly to the MSMEs. And so one of the things, Carbon and Rain Money are changing this by offering loan based on cash flow and digital transformation history. So if you go to Carbon or you go to Rain Money, they're not looking really at your building and house and whatever it is, the assets. They're looking at other ways of collateralizing. And so for you as an SME, you have to formalize your revenue streams using tools like QuickBook